Hey friends, it's Suzanne Mosley. This is our second video in Blooming Your U-Band Business, Cultivating and Growing Business Habits. Our first video I shared with you how in the last 6 months of 2018, I would sit down here at my desk and it's time for me to work my Usborne business and I didn't know what to do, which was kind of it's a scary place to be. But thankfully, last month in January, this book was recommended to me, Atomic Habits by James Clear by Heather Cobb, who's the VP of Usborne Books and More. And what I've loved, what I've read, I'm not even finished with it yet, but the one thing that I had loved about, probably the reason I bought it, is this right here. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. So, as I'm sitting down to do my business and I'm not knowing what to do, I'm like, well, that's a bad habit. I need some good ones. I need some good habits. Yes. So I got the book, and as I'm reading it, wow, something that just was like light bulb, like, phew. He said, if you're having trouble with bad habits, your problem, it's not you. You're not the problem. Your systems are the problem. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. I really did not have a system in place so that when I sat down to work, I knew what I needed to do. And as I've thought over it and just been trying to make improvements with my business, thanks to Atomic Habits, I thought, really our business is really, like, I'll say 5, really that could be 4, but our business really boils down to 5 things. You need to know how to get bookings, you need to know how to recruit, you need to know how to get sales, and kind of in the same, these kind of go together. To get sales, you need to know our product, you need to increase your product knowledge, and then finally, you need to know how to follow up with customers. And what I realized, what was happening as I'm reading this book, I'm like, yes, my systems are broken. When I sit down to do work, I'm not doing these 5 things well. I don't have any good systems in place. I don't have any good habits in place with those. I did early on when I started my business, but as it's grown, my systems haven't kept up over the last 5 years with what I started, with the systems I started with in the beginning. And after, you can kind of wing it so long, and then literally the wheels came off last year. So what I realize as I'm reading this book is probably you're feeling the same way I do. I want my business to grow, but what do I need to do? And what I figured out is really doing the business 5 years. If I can get bookings, if I can recruit, if I can increase my product knowledge, I'm going to increase sales. And if I can follow up with customers, that's the secret of this business. That's the secret of being an Usborne Books and More consultant. If I can do those 5 things really well, then my business is going to grow. And when I'm not doing those at all or doing it haphazard, my business is not going to grow. So what we are going to spend time on this week, we're going to focus on those 5 areas, but we're not going to focus on how to do them well. We're not going to focus this week on improving bookings and being better at getting bookings or being better at recruiting. We're going to focus on cultivating habits, atomic habits, for those 5 foundational aspects of our business. Because if we can touch those 5 aspects of our business every single week, our business is going to grow. That's it. It's not rocket science. And what I loved is Atomic Habits has helped me see the problem. My system was broken, which meant I had bad habits in place. And so if I need good ones, if I need to cultivate these good habits, to replace the old ones, I need systems. So what I have developed for me, and this is why I wanted to do the training, I've developed some like worksheets, some guides for me, some checklists that I'm using with my business that have been very helpful. And so I'm going to introduce those this week, because what I want to encourage you and empower you to do is to learn how to get in a habit of touching these 5 areas of your business every single week. And then if you can prioritize touching these 5 things first and doing them first, and then doing the extra things that come along with our business. What I found with myself is I would do these extra things first. I'd go to Canva and make some more graphics, or I take pictures of books or things that, I'm not doing the 5 core things. I'm not touching those 5 core things. I'm touching them very inconsistently. So with the resources I'm going to share with you this week, you can design your week so that you're touching those 5 aspects. And you don't even have to do it every day. I've kind of mapped it out. What I'm doing is touching 1 or 2 Monday through Friday, one or 2 a day. And it's only taking me Monday through Friday. I'm not having to do it on the weekends. And it's helping me get into those habits that James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits. And what's so encouraging in Atomic Habits is he's saying when we make these tiny changes, when we make just a 1% change, a tiny change, remarkable results will come. And I've already seen that. One example of my Atomic Habit that I shared in the first video, getting up early this year, I'm 8 weeks in, has made a remarkable difference in my life. And that was just one tiny habit. So I know as I improve these habits of touching these 5 aspects of my business is going to bloom. It's going to blossom. And so that's what we're going to spend the rest of the week doing, looking at these 5 foundational core elements of your business and coming up with systems for you to touch them every week. And I think if we will all commit to that, and we'll all realize what he says in Atomic Habits, these changes, that to see the results that we need, we often think we have to make big, gigantic changes, but we don't. And it's like he's proven it in this book. We have to make tiny changes. And you know what? I think we can all make tiny changes. And hopefully with the resources that I'll be providing as we start implementing them and getting them into atomic habits, which are these just small habits you repeat over and over and over again, and the results that come from doing these atomic habits over and over again will be gigantic and remarkable, and will allow us to bloom and thrive in our S-Form business. So excited. We are going to have such a great week.